We start in portrait and we move to landscape. In Psycho Mantis's room, there are three pictures on the wall. Which the three pictures on the wall. There are three pictures on the wall. Greetings, ladles and jelly spoons. Welcome back to the vlog. We're here in Studio A, just getting ready to set up. Now, I know that in the last vlog I did sort of talk about using Studio B a little bit more for filming, but unfortunately at the minute Studio B is kind of full of stuff and I don't want to disrupt everything that's going on there for a day's worth of filming in here. And plus, you know, my roots are in Studio A. Studio A all the way. Stealthy than a cat burglar breaking into our orbital broadcast bunker. Whilst I'm getting into costume, lovies, I thought I'd go through this month's pickups. Now, I think I said in a previous vlog, I am sorry because I'm not brilliant at filming when I'm out and about. I do suffer from a bit of social anxiety in that respect. You know, you're out and about by yourself with, you know, complete strangers around you. It's one of those things I can't quite get my head around, just accepting the fact that I know no one else really gives a what I'm doing as long as I'm not breaking the law or exposing myself. But still, I find it very difficult to sort of, you know, whilst I'm in CEX or a charity shop, to get my camera out and start, you know, filming and trying to get angles of stuff right and doing slow pans and stuff like that. People who do it, like the Retro Ghetto,
play the games, keep it retro,
and Retro Rummage.
We are back, YouTube.
All power to you. I am working at getting better at it. I am trying to sort of force myself out of my comfort zone and forcing myself to do it. Unfortunately, this vlog I haven't really done a good job of doing that, so again I do apologise. Hopefully the more I do it, the more confident I'll get with it, and you know, I'll be able to produce better content in that respect. However, retro pickups this month.
I'm just going to say this now. For a lad that says he's not a collector, you do seem to be doing an awful lot of collecting.
True, not really a collector. However, this month's pickups have got a little bit of a theme, and I hope you enjoy it. So I was in a charity shop, I believe it was Cancer Research, and I saw a game that you don't see very often. It's a game that I already own on PC, but I thought, you know what, for £1, I'm going to give it a go. And that game is Star Trek Voyager Elite Force. This is a first-person shooter game from a time when they were releasing console versions of quite popular PC games, but in the process of porting it from PC to console, the game loses some gameplay elements, some gameplay mechanics. Obviously the graphics take a little bit of a bash, but I'm hoping if I can play this on the PlayStation 3, then it will look marginally better. I haven't played Elite Force since it first came out in, I think it's around 2001, 2002. This is an absolutely beautiful copy, in really good condition, even with the old Codemasters like genius at play, looking at what games are coming up. God, MTV's Music Generator 2, oh, and World Championship Snooker 2002. So yeah, so this must have been a 2002 game. They've even printed the game hotline on the actual disc itself. Looking forward to having a bit of a play through that. Then it was either the following day or later that day, I nipped into CEX and I saw a couple of games that I thought would complement Star Trek Voyager Elite Force perfectly. First up we've got Star Trek Conquest. I'll be honest, I knew very, very little about this game. Conquest features a blend of intense action and strategy set in the Star Trek Next Generation era. Whilst effectively managing your resources, you must lead your forces in a campaign to control the galaxy, one planet at a time. That doesn't sound very much like the United Federation of Planets, does it? No. The thing that interested me about this game is, firstly, it was developed by Bethesda Softworks. So yeah, the company that's behind, what, Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 4 and Skyrim made This, interesting. It is a beautiful copy. It's in really good condition. But yeah, I thought that was a really interesting pickup. And then, sat almost right next to it, we had Star Trek Encounters. A 3D shoot-'em-up arcade-style space combat game featuring a wide selection of authentic Star Trek ships, characters and weapons to destroy your opponents. Again, really interested. This was apparently developed by Bethesda. I think it was published by Ubisoft. And then, sometime later, I was scrolling through Instagram, and who should pop up but friend of the channel, Pixel Paul, as well as another Instagrammer that I follow, whose name escapes me, but I'll pop it up on screen, showcasing another Star Trek game, one that I don't own and have, again, very little knowledge of. And I thought to myself, you know what, I think I need to track that game down and play that. So I got straight on eBay and found myself a copy of, it's a good sound, Star Trek Shattered Universe. Another 3D action Star Trek game. Brace yourself for frantic, adrenaline-pumping space combat in the dark mirror universe of Star Trek, the original series. Adapt to a new reality where everything once familiar is now a dark reflection, and the noble Federation is now an evil, relentless foe.
Janus Ultima. Apart from the physical changes in our ship and ourselves, it is clear that in this universe, the Federation as we know it simply does not exist. Therefore...
But wait, there's more. For my Star Trek journey is far from over. A few days later down the line, I was back in a CEX, just having a casual browse, and I came across this little gem. Star Trek Legacy on the Xbox 360. Another game published by Ubisoft and developed by Bethesda. So obviously they must have the Star Trek license, or had the Star Trek license at this point.
Archer to all ships. Engage the Romulan vessels. We have to keep them from destroying the outpost.
It also has a 2-player mode, so maybe Mr. B and myself can get together and thrash out some Star Trek.
Right.
And now I have checked this one out. It doesn't work on the Xbox One, so I will have to crack out the 360 to give this one a go. The game is in very good condition. However, you'll notice no manual. Now, I had a bit of a look online, and I couldn't actually find any copies of this for sale on eBay that come with a manual. I don't know if this game maybe never had a manual. Maybe this is a game from the era where they stopped producing proper manuals. I don't know. If anybody does know, please do put a comment down below, because I'd love to know if a manual is meant to come with this game.
Engaging warp drive.
And finally, on our Star Trek journey, as I've just said, I was looking online to see if Star Trek Legacy is meant to come with a manual or not. And a game was suggested to me for the right price. And I thought to myself, do you know what? Yeah, let's pick it up. It doesn't look like it's going to be the most interesting or intense Star Trek game ever. I thought, do you know what? I've bought Star Trek games on the PlayStation 2, I've bought Star Trek games on the Xbox, I've bought Star Trek games on the Xbox 360. So why not the PlayStation 1? And I picked up from eBay for a very reasonable price, Star Trek Invasion.
My shields are at 50% strength.
From what I understand, this is another 3D space shooter. Again, with a 2-player mode, so, maybe, Mr. B, you and me could play Star Trek Invasion together.
Right.
And the game is in good condition. The only downside is it hasn't come with its front sheet, just the instruction manual. I'm perfectly happy with it. I look forward to trying this out. This could be a game that we potentially have a go at streaming when streaming returns.
Streaming, you say, lad. Now, I believe you and I need to have a bit of a chat about that, don't we?
Yes, we will talk about it. However, there is one final pickup for March 2024. As you know, 2024 for me is the year of the cartridge. I've been trying to pick up N64 cartridges, just cartridge only game. I'm not interested in paying the prices for immaculate or even unimmaculate Nintendo 64 cardboard. Just the one N64 game this month. As I was in CEX, I noticed a game that I've recently covered on the Retro Roundup, and that is Body Harvest. GTA 3 before GTA 3. A cracking third-person action-adventure game. There's really very little to say about this little cartridge. It's a nice cartridge. It's in good condition for a cartridge. It will add to the collection. Oh, I need a brew. I need a brew. I need a brew. For about the first time in a long time, I've actually remembered the clapperboard. Yeah. Pat, I've forgotten the brew. Oh, what you doing, you tit? Has Keith even made it? I don't know. Keith, you made this brew? Hang on, I was just getting to it. So, some days I have really good, really positive filming sessions, and other days I don't. And today is definitely one of those days. It genuinely has kind of felt a little bit like everything that can go wrong has gone wrong for whatever reason. Now, first off, because I'm back in Studio A, I might have mentioned this in previous vlogs. When I set up Studio A properly, it's very difficult to get out of the room because one of my lights stands slap bang in front of the door, and across those lights are the power cables for the lights and the camera, and across the door are the power lines for the lights. So I have to try and remember to be organised to get everything into the room that I'm going to need. And today I just kept forgetting things. I don't know where my head was this morning. Admittedly, I've started filming later than I normally would have done. Right, well that's it for young Kai. Now time to change costumes and give Keith a go. Not Keith, Pat, sorry, give Pat a go. So the first problem was that I forgot that the book, 1001 Video Games You Must Play Before You Die, lives on my bookcase in the other room. And I got to the bit of the video I was meant where I needed it, and I was like, oh, brilliant. So I had to go and get that. Oh, don't tell, I need bloody book, it's bloody next door. Oh, tits. Then I forgot that I needed a couple of props, which is basically tea and Pat's pint of best. They were in the kitchen. Bloody hell, I am out of practice. I'm just going to point out Mr. B's ukulele channel. Cracking mug. Go and support Mr. B's ukulele channel.
But now I hold my head up high.
Tell him we sent you. Fun fact, for those of you that want to know, Pat's pint of best isn't actually bitter. It is non-alcoholic Stella. Purely because it is the cheapest alcohol-free beer. Another fun fact, in some of the early videos with Pat and his pint of best, it is actually bitter. Right, well that's Pat Whitemuffin's bit done. Oh, that were a long one. I'm not gonna lie, that were a long one. But I had to stop that because a lot of the time I start filming about sort of somewhere around about 10-11 o'clock in the morning. By the end of the filming session I was definitely feeling a little bit tipsy, because these filming sessions usually can take 2 to 3 hours, sometimes less. Sometimes I can get it all wrapped up in under an hour or an hour and a half, but a lot of the times, because of changing costumes, changing setups for cameras, it's about 3 hours. So I learned the hard way that I need like a non-alcoholic substitute. Now I know, before you put it in the comments, Brewdog do a non-alcoholic bitter, I think that's right. But for the sake of a prop. And then finally, to put the cherry on the top of today's problems, Keith's bits are all filmed on my phone with a Snapchat filter. and I've had two problems. Firstly, the phone has decided to run out of power. I didn't realise the battery was so low on it. For some unbeknownst reason, the wireless, I don't know where it's gone, oh yeah, the wireless remote to activate the recording remotely has decided not to work. However, let's look at the positive, shall we? I have got a couple of days off and filming and editing are top of my list of things to do with my time off, and get more videos in the can ready to roll out so that I don't end up stressed and in my own head about it later on down the line. In the field you can see the parachute liquid.